Hi, this is Travis with Two Brothers Adventures. Today I'm going to be talking about the Zippo Lighter. We're going to review this against our standardized checklist for fire starting devices. For more information on that checklist or on this video series, check out the link we'll throw up on the screen now. Okay, as far as packaging material with the Zippo, they come in all kinds of different packaging material. It depends how you buy them. Sometimes they're in gift boxes, sometimes they're blister pack. All gamuts or varieties with the packaging of these. We'll go ahead and do a weight test. We'll weigh one. So weight-wise, it's 2.1, 2.2. We just filled all these up. Let me weigh this one. So 2.2, so 2.2 ounces as far as weight. As far as cost is concerned, they're kind of all over the board. You can get them for as cheap as $10 or even cheaper used, but $10 all the way at kind of infinites, depending on how much work or different designs, things like that they have on them. So that's how as far as cost. How they work, to work them, you open up the lid and you light the striker, which is a replaceable striker. There's fuel. They pull out. It's a little warm. Pull out, you put fluid, lighter fluid in there. You actually peel this back and fill it full of lighter fluid. That's how they work. So they're refillable, reusable, replaceable striker. As far as burn time, we'll go ahead and skip over that. We won't do a burn time test with this. We'll move on to the water test. First, we're going to do the damp or mist test. Just to simulate mist, we're going to use this water bottle, and I'll give it 3 sprays. I'm going to do it a couple different ways. So first, I'm going to give it some sprays with it closed like this. And since the cover, I'm sure it's going to work without issue. Next, I'm going to open up the lid and actually give it 3 sprays. Try to get it down inside of there. See if we can still get it to light. Took a few times, but definitely lit after a few attempts, so it looks like it passes the dampness test. Next, we're going to move on to the dip test. So I'm going to take a brand new one we haven't used yet. Show you it's still working no problem. And I'm going to dip it. First, I'm going to dip it upside down. Shake it off. Lights without issue. Next, I'm going to dip it the opposite way. So I'm going to dip it in this way. Light. It took a few more times, trying not to get any water on the striker there from my fingers. And then next I'm going to dip it actually open. So I'm going to just tip it upside down and dip it. Shake it out. See if we can get it to light. So faint flame there. As it heats up, it should burn better. So it looks like it'll pass the dip test without problem. I'm going to let that one go ahead and burn off that water. We're going to move on to the soak test. So I'm going to take this third one that's completely dry, just been refueled, and we're going to go ahead and drop it in this water. I'm going to start the timer. We're going to let it sit in there for 2 minutes, and then we're going to pull it out and we'll see if it'll light. Alright, so we're coming up on the 2-minute mark, and I'll get ready to pull this Zippo out. Hopefully I have a magnet on the end of this here. Hopefully that'll be able to fish it out. Go. So I'm going to shake this out, let the water drip out of it. It's actually pretty cold. That water's cold. And we'll see if we can get it to light. Lit the first time, so it looks like it definitely passes the soak test as well. Pretty impressive. As you can see, it's definitely really wet. So looks like it'll pass the soak test, which I'm actually pretty impressed by. Next, I'll go ahead and do the one-handed test. So we'll use this one we haven't used yet. Easy to open one-handed and light one-handed. So not an issue. So it definitely passes the one-handed test. Now we'll go ahead and set up and do the wind test. Okay, now we're going to do the wind test. To simulate the wind, we have a fan down here, actually a bank of 3 fans. We have a yardstick set up. I'm going to light this Zippo at the end of the yardstick and move it forward and see how close we can get with that before it blows out the flame. And then I'm going to try to light it right up against the flame if it makes it that far. So I got a good light. I'm going to move it forward. So actually it's holding up to be pretty wind resistant. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. I'm going to try to give it a light right up here against the fan. definitely say this is definitely wind resistant. We're going to redo the dunk test with the one that we dunked the last time. So as you can see, it's still burning. What we did last time when we did the 2-minute dunk, the soak test, we actually dropped it in like this, and it lit first try. And we're thinking that there might have been an air pocket caught in here keeping this all dry. So I'm actually going to drop it in sideways, and we're going to let it sit in there for 2 minutes and then retest the soak test to see if it'll still light. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in sideways, and we'll start the timer. Alright, we're coming up on 2 minutes of the second soak test, sideways with the Zippo. We'll see if that makes any difference or allowed any more water to get in there. So, still seems pretty dry in there. I'm thinking that even sideways that kept a nice pocket of air. So, we wanted to be thorough in our testing, and so we kind of thought about that. And obviously, even sideways, that pocket of air, the way the lid works, even sideways kept it nice and dry in there. So definitely passed the soak test.
Let's do a third one with the lid
open. It open?
Yeah,
right.
Why not?
So we'll go ahead and do a third test.
And restart.
With it open, just to be completely thorough. Start the timer. Okay, so we're coming up on 2 minutes with our third soak test. We just want to be completely thorough with this. See if we can get this to fail. I'm going to shake as much of the water out as I can, and we'll see if we can get it to light. So it doesn't look like it's creating too much of a spark. Let me blow it out. So it doesn't look like with it open it passes the third soak test, but
it's still sparking. It's just not.
Looks like the wick might have got wet.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. So, actually, pretty impressive. It finally caught a little bit of the fuel wicked up, and it passed the third soak test. So, there you go. All right, so for a conclusion on the different Zippo lighters that we talked about, you can get these pretty much anywhere. Probably the most common lighter that's out there, besides like Bic or some kind of disposable lighter. Easy to replace the fuel, replace the flint, things like that. This is something that a lot of people will buy and have for a lifetime. And we put it through the test. It passed the mist test, both closed and open, as well as the dip test, closed and open, and it passed all 3 of our soak tests. So, something pretty reliable as long as you have fuel in them. These things are something that's great, that'll last, they burn continuously until you put them out. A great addition to have in any pack.